Dear students, in this tutorial I decided to try something that is quite new in Painter, and they just brought up a few categories in here that are maybe as a help to find quicker some different brushes, and I decided to kind of look and see what they can do, because usually I have been working with Painter for a very long time and I'm more used to have the techniques directions in groups and less like a mixture of techniques in one single group. And I just decided to kind of check a little bit what do they have in here and select a few of them and try just as a brainstorming to see how this works. So we have again our little apple up here, and I would like to see what a few of those brushes from the quick and verschnörkelt category can give me. So just starting, and we're going to see what comes out there. Okay, so I'm starting with a digital watercolor, and this time I'm really going to be working with a selection tool so that I have a stronger edge going on. You can see that this is a very strong part of my way of illustrating, to have a selection of it, since I'm just really painting the apple and I'm not mixing it with a certain background. I have a warm yellow color and I'm just filling up the whole area. We can see that this is a gel layer. This is not a watercolor layer, although we have a watercolor type of brush in here, and it kind of grabs sometimes some color from outside. So I'm having here a quite interesting brush because it gives you a very good texture, and it works as well with the angle of the brush. So I could have like a very straight line like this, which I don't want, or I could be working with this interesting texture that this brush gives me. And a good thing as well is that it works with some kind of transparency, so we can build up color. So I'm just respecting kind of the shape of the apple by doing the lines. I just did one too much, like this is a bit better. And I'm just going to add more darkness in here. And since it's a gel layer, I could as well kind of bring up a layer underneath it again and make it even darker if I would like to. Okay, so I'm going to a more citric kind of yellow. You can see that even if I'm working with a lighter color, this is getting lighter. So this brush works not only building up color into darkness, but as well it goes lighter again, which is quite interesting if you're building up color and still would like to have the same brush giving you some lighter areas. And I'm going out to something darker to be doing this inside, or the little hole on the apple. And I would like to start as well, bring up some lightness in here, and I could actually not do too much since I would like to be testing other brushes in here as well. So this was the first one. I could actually go to the grober Schwamm, but in this case I would open a new layer underneath this one, and I would like to add some darkness with this very rough type of brush. You can see it's interesting because it's smearing as well, and like this I'm building up color here. Gives a very a live texture. I could go even a little bit darker here on the edges. So you can see like an interesting volume with a very nice type of texture. And now I would just grab the charcoal to do the details. So I'm selecting this color and I'm going a little bit darker. I'm reducing the size of my brush to do the details. And if you want, I'm always working on the layer underneath it. Since this is a standard layer and this is a gel layer, the gel layer has some kind of transparency. And I can use the colors from the layer on the top so that it kind of brings everything a little bit together, so that even if I get a quite different color here, this is not going to look like a strange body color. But I can see that even if I try to go a little bit lighter, this is not bringing me to the lightness I would like to have. So in this case, I would really need to go to the layer on the top, or I should open as a new layer. And here I could start bring up the details. So if I make my drawing invisible so that I can see where I am, I can see that the apple is quite good, but I would need to do much more details here on the little branch here on the top. Grab here the orange color to make this edge. And I'll decrease the size of my brush and I'll get something darker. I'm opening a new layer on top of the layer from the apple, and I'm going back to the digital watercolor, and I would like to have now a little bit of rose to make some light area, which is unfortunately not working. Okay, I have to go to the layer underneath it because I would like to have some lightness going on in here, and as well closer to the edges where I would like to do the shadow. Go a little bit white. Okay, and now I'll just undo selection. I'll open a new layer underneath all the layers from my apple. And now I can do some shadow. You can see that the shadow is not going to be as dark as the apple. I would need to get another color to do so. And I would get something lighter as well to do the reflection of the apple on the ground. And you can see now that I have some areas from the apple that got some shadow, and I would just really use the normal eraser to clean this up. Since with the digital watercolor I cannot be working on layer masks, and I cannot transform the digital watercolor brush into a eraser by changing the general function of it. Okay, so this would be an idea to be working with this new category and a few brushes of it. I didn't use many of the possibilities in here. They have quite interesting brushes as well, and this category has a very good amount of texture without being too strong, and allows you to be working with very vivid kind of traces and gives you a lot of control as well. Have fun and try it out. Talk to you soon on the next tutorial. Bye bye.